You do it.
Okay.
We're rolling.
I'm Lisa Duggar. I'm here to tell you about my ketamine experience. Let me introduce these two.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can just start if you want me to. So this is kind of our exit interview. Lisa has been here with us
For 5 days.
For 5 days. Did 4 ketamine sessions during that time. And we wanted to use this interview as just kind of a debrief and to hear about your experience and see how you did.
Do you give me the questions before?
Well, like we thought we would really just kind of do it like, because we've had so many things that we've talked about in between in the last 5 days, that we would just kind of go with the flow of how the conversation goes instead of making it be script. Because you've had a ton of really good insights and just aha moments that hopefully in the video that you guys will be able to get to see a little bit. Some of you are like, oh my gosh. So you have been with us for 5 days, 4 ketamine sessions, 1 energy healing session. And I want to check in and see how you feel compared to when you got here.
Yeah, because you don't have any experience with ketamine before this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or psychedelics, period.
Yeah. What, and so maybe even just tell us like what got you interested? How did you hear about it? What were you looking for? Like, how did you end up here with us?
Series of events and people, right?
Yeah.
That I felt stuck. I kept coming out since January. I've been like stuck. I'm like, what's going on? I can't. Well, we started because now we're in a totally different place than we were 5 days ago.
Right.
We started with wanting to be able to write my book or be able to hold workshops and keep the continuity going, or why couldn't I, keep going on those things? I thought it felt like a block and I was stuck. So I was like, what? ChatGPT, what can I do to get unstuck? It can be spiritual, what we call it, spiritual bypassing, or it's a quick trip or whatever, shortcut or whatever you want to call it. But I was like, I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. So I was like, ketamine. And I was like, my friend Chantel does ketamine.
Oh, wait, so that's interesting. It was actually GPT that just gave you that as a recommendation.
Psilocybin, ketamine, the vitamins, something else. And I was like, mushrooms aren't my thing, but I was like, yep, ketamine was a yes from the very beginning.
And so that's actually interesting because I think it shows how it is becoming more mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Like the AI is even talking about it. But did you have any, had you thought about it before that? Like, is this something that's been on your radar?
No, I mean, I think I might have known you did it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
She knew that I had kind of, because when we first met, it was right when I started getting into the ketamine specific world and trying to figure out how to incorporate it into my own business with the energy healing, is right around the same time that you and I met. And so you knew that I did it, but we were more into the cacao space together than the ketamine space. Yeah. So it was just like in the back of her mind, she was like, oh, I know Chandel does that. And then just based off of our relationship, it was, if I'm going to go do ketamine, I'm going to go do it with people I trust.
Yeah. I always had to plug Huberman, right? Andrew Huberman does the podcast. That was I went and listened to him because I said, I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. So I went and listened to all the things and find out what I could find out about it. So I kind of knew what to expect, but you have no idea what to expect. So you can't figure it out before you get here. And so I got with Chandel, and I was in a space of I need to do something right now, but I was going on a vacation, doing these things. So I was like, okay, we booked your trip. You guys went on vacation. So I was like, okay, we're doing these. So we booked it like 6 weeks after I decided to do this.
It was pretty quick, all things considered, that you're having
stuck,
to fly all the way here.
Yeah, right, because you flew here to Utah from Ohio, specifically for this purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are so honored that you trusted us with this process. So thank you.
People are like, oh, you can do ketamine in Ohio. Okay, I'm going to just go into some random person's office and sit there. And I guess I shouldn't be like putting down that experience because I don't know. Right. If you just walk into a random person's office and you're going to do ketamine, what kind of questions do they ask you? What's going to be your experience going to be like? And I knew you were going to hold my hand. Yeah. If I needed that.
Which is exactly why we do it the way we do it.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
That's a great question because now that you have done it 4 times, could you see yourself having done it in an office, at a doctor's office?
No. I mean, I have thought that now that we got to where we did today,
Mhm.
like maybe I need to do this more. But then I go, maybe I could do it in Ohio, but I'm like, it would have to take a whole lot of research, and I'm not going to just pop in and randomly pick somebody. It's going to be like, hold on, let me sit and talk to you about what you do and who you are, blah, blah, blah. They're probably not going to like it very much. I think that you guys do really well before I'd say yes, because
Right.
it's
Well,
big deal.
and now that you have been through it, you have an idea of what to expect when you're in there, but also you do still have me. We can do the integration calls before and after.
Yeah.
Like you can have somebody like your husband or best friend or your daughter
That's
go
true.
in and sit with you because you know what it feels like to have the support during it, right? So now that you are like, I have this set way that feels really good in order to do it, now you can take, again, how are you going to integrate it back into your everyday life? You know this, what made you feel good, so now you get to create that in an environment there. So, yeah. But could you have imagined just going into an office and someone saying, "Okay, this is what you might feel on ketamine. Let us know when you're done."
Well, am I supposed to be? I mean, you can cut this out if you need to. Like, I mean, like session 4, I'm curled up in a ball crying on the bed.
Mhm.
So how are you gonna do that in the doctor's office? I mean, that
Right.
would have to interrupt the whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you said something that was interesting, where it is really difficult to know what it's going to be like, even if people try to describe it or you read about it. And part of me wants to ask you to try to do that for us.
Just to go in?
Like, well, to try to, like, if you just had to describe what the experience was like. Pretend like you're describing it to somebody who's never.
Oh, I thought
done
you were
it.
asking me to go back to Ohio and just walk in somewhere and see
No,
what it was like.
gosh,
I'm sorry.
Totally changed the subject. No, but just, are you able to describe like what it was like, what you went through?
We go in. We're in a safe space, right? My situation, laying in the bed, blankets, makes me comfortable. You lay down. You might lay down. We did the whole. I don't know what we did. Arsoma. Is that
Which
an-
is really, it's just specific to my work, but yeah.
Okay. I would call it like an oil. You rub it around in its chakras, and then eye mask, laying in the bed. And be able to get to your shoulders so you can get the shots. Shoulders just do some. Laying in the bed, eye mask. Chandel leads you through breathing, get you relaxed so you can be in the moment, and then you do all the way from your toe, from every little toe to every little finger, so you're totally relaxed and you're breathing. And then when you're ready, are you ready? Here's your shot. Nate goes, okay, 1, 2, 3, and there's the shot. And you sit there with the music. The playlist has a significant thing to do with it too, because having never done psychedelics, I now understand why music is a part of psychedelics, because it's like this whole woo thing that goes on with the music and the psychedelics in your inner experience. And I just had this whole inner experience. You crying. When I was crying, I was laughing, saying things, not saying things, and it's just psychedelics are like nothing I've ever experienced. You feel like everybody's in the experience with you, like the whole world's having this experience with me, and I'm like, no, it's just me.
Yeah. And when you say experience, you're talking about having visuals, you're talking about the way that you're thinking. Like, this is the part that's so hard to explain.
Put into words.
But was it like a movie playing? Did it feel like you were in a dream? Like,
I think that the first day it was kind of like a roller coaster where you're going through the scenes. It was like kaleidoscope and stained glass windows. You're going around, you see things, and then you kind of feel like you've been somewhere before and something's familiar, like for me, Mesopotamia. And then it can be stained glass windows and it's fragments. And like for me, it was like sloughing away of my old self. So I felt like there were black tiles that were washing off in the distance. And the music can change, and you have like this crescendo where you're like the music's climbing and the colors are climbing. In the beginning, the first time there were lots of colors, and then I think it was more nature the first time, and then it was more black, I think, the second time, and then white the third and fourth. It's just kind of like I keep saying the movie Avatar, like all the little colors and the little things and the tiles that are everywhere. It was like being in the movie, and And I don't know if I've ever had that experience in a movie, but I felt like this is what I see on TV, on the movie. And things are always changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the feelings are, you feel like you want to have, you feel like you don't want to say anything. Like there was times when I wanted to tell you something, but I'm like, if I say something, I gotta come out of this. You don't want to break the magic.
Right.
You're
yeah.
scared to
Yeah.
say that, but I wanted to be able to say what was coming through and what I was feeling. And then, hey, the music is just a huge thing for the waves.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the music.
And we did affirmations.
Yeah.
Okay, we recorded affirmations, Sean, to help me get affirmations together based on what I was what we thought I was working on.
Well, and that's part of like this too, is you went in with a specific intention, right? And we had specific affirmations that were guiding you there. And after the first 2 sessions, which your first 2 sessions, it was a little bit hard, right? You were like, and coming out of it, you're like, oh my gosh, like took a lot out of me. I'm tired. I feel a little hungover. And then we did the energy session, shifted a couple things. And then when we went to do the 3rd session, you're like, I think some of these affirmations need to change.
Yeah.
And I was like, then yes, let's absolutely change them, because then that way we do know that what we're doing is creating that change, and you're getting more clarity and understanding of what it is that you're truly going in there for, when we always think we know one thing, and then our consciousness will show us what we really need, right?
Yeah.
Or our subconscious.
You don't get what you're asking for, you get what you need, right?
Yeah, right.
The song,
exactly.
is that a Rolling Stone, Grateful Dead song?
Grateful Dead is your new favorite band. And so we changed your affirmations for the last 2 sessions, and they felt even better. Yeah. Which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of like really cool, like breaking apart moments of you're like, I had these thoughts my entire life, and I'm like, why? I actually want to be like this and feel like this and do this, and different meanings for all sorts of things.
Do you want me to talk about specifics, or
Yep.
Okay?
I'm like, yes, I
Okay,
do.
I'm like, we don't be. I could probably even mention Jennifer's name on the camera. She probably doesn't care. She probably doesn't care. My whole life I've been like I grew up upper middle class, Connecticut, mom and dad, and working. And mom was stay at home and do this and don't do that, and I'm very strict on rules, and you don't walk on the grass, and you don't do the things, and it's just the rules and a lot of pressure to be one way. And in high school, I had a friend named Jennifer who had long hair, and Jennifer was like, I don't give an F about anything what anybody thinks or what they're doing. And Jennifer's always smoking weed and doing all her things. And I was friends with her, but I never did drugs with her, and they were doing the drugs when I was around them, and I was just like, whatever. And now yesterday, all of a sudden, as soon as I went in, because you can go in saying you're going to think about something, or you don't. Also, like, don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about something because you're scared if you start thinking about a certain thing, you're going to go down this dark hole, and I don't know if that word happens or not. But so I don't know what I was thinking when I went in yesterday, but all of a sudden there was the Grateful Dead, and I said it out loud to you, and we had put CBD balm on my shoulder because I all of a sudden out of the blue when we were just together, I had this pain in my shoulder, which is totally spiritual and energy, not physical related. So it could have been the CBD smell of marijuana and the whole talk about it. And then I went into the Grateful Dead, and all of a sudden it was Jennifer, and I was like, oh my God, Shondell and Jennifer. Like Shondell and Jennifer, like kind of very similar, soul sisters and stuff like that. Somewhere you don't know each other.
I don't know her.
You don't know her. But, and yeah, Jennifer was always toe rings and dresses and things, and yeah, ear cuffs, and I don't think she ever had her nose pierced, but she was always smoking weed. She was doing whatever the hell she wanted to do all the time. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, that's what I need to want to be like, and it still feels selfish to be like, oh, I want to be the person who doesn't give a shit what everybody thinks. But that's more of where I need to be, because being so guarded and rigid is not serving my adrenal system. Yeah. So we came out and we're like, oh my gosh, Jennifer.
Yeah, and it comes back to that, like, feeling so, because the second time, I think it was the second time, I was like, there's something about being rigid. And not you being a rigid person, but just having to fit inside this very narrow space. And you were like, I'm either in this space or I'm out. It's either black or white. I'm either this or I'm that. And we got to the point where you're like, oh, actually, I can be whatever I want to be. I don't have to be one way or the other. And like, this is part of like you going back and incorporating, because we talked about your house and the way your house is decorated and how you kind of want it to be, but it has to be this, and it's like, just incorporate the things you love. And like, you dress like a beautiful businesswoman or you dress like a hippie. And I'm like, there's actually an in between there. Like you can incorporate both, and just having that awareness that life isn't black and white, and that you get to be whoever you want to be, dress however you want to dress, decorate your house however you want to decorate your house.
It's me judging me, and then me being afraid that other people are judging me, when we talked about the fact that nobody's really paying attention to what anybody else is doing. And
well, and we had that, like, when we talked about the judgment, and I asked you, and I'm like, so when you have that thought about somebody, do you actually really care? And you were like, no. And it was like, oh my gosh, like, actually nobody actually cares.
Who cares?
Yeah. And so I think that was a really good moment too, of that. Like, we are always worried that somebody is judging us or thinking one way or the other. And chances are it's just a fleeting moment or a fleeting thought. And very few people, because there's got to be people out there, but there's very few people that are actually taking the time to worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So we all come home a whole new person.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting example, because you had all these thoughts come up about this Jennifer who was carefree and didn't care about what other people thought about her. And it would be easy to just be like, oh, it's so weird, I thought about Jennifer. but it's not about Jennifer.
Right.
And you don't actually want to be like her.
Right.
But that's your subconscious kind of showing you maybe what some of the stuff you do want. You want to not have to worry about what other people think about you. You want to be able to do what you want. You want to be able to express yourself the way that you want. And so that is part of like the whole integration, because you're going to take the experience that you had in the medicine and try to incorporate it into your life. And it doesn't have to be huge changes. It can be as simple as, I want to wear this type of outfit, or I want to
buy the bag.
I want to buy the bag. Oh, the big hippie bag I bought yesterday.
Yeah.
Day.
And just a little shift.
Right.
And that will actually potentially relieve so much off of you. If you feel this pressure, these outside pressures, and you can just change a little to be like, I don't really care what they think. That potentially could just be such a burden lifted.
And it's what I think is interesting about the whole like Jennifer thing, because like there are things that you do, right, that you're like, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you think, right? And then there are things that you don't, and that like I don't care feels different when you're like fighting to be who you are, know what your beliefs are, to being like, actually it's okay if you feel a certain way about it and I just don't care. There's that freedom in not like, I don't care what you think, to
Sinuses, sorry.
You're fine. You can bring it in here.
I was trying to hold on to it. I'm sorry. Joking. Okay.
But there is that difference of like forcing, like, I don't care what you think of me, or just being in that space of like, it's okay for you to think whatever you think. I'm just me.
Right.
I'm just doing my own thing without the like need to fight for it.
Which in reality is why I've had so much. Well, my daughter or people would say, I don't care what people think about you. I don't care. I was always like, what do you mean? Or ex-husband, I don't care what people think. What do you mean you should care? You're just a bad person. If you didn't care whether people thought about you or what you were doing or how what you did affect other people. So now we're moving on between, I can still be a good person and not care. It's still work in progress. But.
And that's the part you're going to take back with you. It's just working through that.
Yeah. And there's a difference between being like, screw you, I don't care what you think of me,
right,
versus being like, I truly, you can believe what you want and I will believe what I want,
right,
and I truly don't, it doesn't bother me,
right,
and I'm like, I'm whole with that and I'm good with that, which is such a different, like, I don't care what you think, than what most people do, because most people do it as a screw you, I don't care what you think. And then, but sometimes you can transcend and truly be like, I'm so good, okay with myself. It's not that I don't care what you think. It's that think what you want.
I'm going to allow you to think what you want.
And I get to think what I want, and we're all happy together. And it doesn't matter.
And that's so easy for some people. It's not easy for
It
me.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and this is part of what the unintentional shift
Right.
that came through your experience, right? It's like you didn't go in for this, but in a way that you did.
Right, because we're not writing.
Part of you that stops the freeze in your writing was like, I don't want to have anyone perceive these people in a negative light, even though it taught me this.
Right.
And I'm like, well, the book isn't for them; it's for you, right?
Right.
And so now you're going to be like, oh, I actually can honor how you feel about this, and also I'm still gonna, because I feel that this is my truth, gonna be able to still move forward. Which
Just came through in a different way.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how it works?
Uh-huh.
Well, we always say it's going to give you what you need, not what you are asking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's so, I mean, even from the very first session, one of the very first things that you felt was that there were those black tiles getting stripped off of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think that was the setup for then allowing what was going to come afterwards.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And then I know you had quite a bit of stuff with Iran come through, and I'm super excited and like curious to see what that is for you and how you're going to like have more understanding and bring it into your life in a way that, because you obviously have a really strong pull there, and your heart, there's something about your heart that's there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what is it that's longing to be seen, longing to be felt, longing to be connected with, that you get to bring back into your life and live in that space with those things.
See, here's where I go. We need to explain that. I lived in Iran when I was 7, 8, 9. So I have a strong remembrance, and it was a great place in those years when I was there. So what's going on right now has nothing to do with that. But it was a beautiful country. It was unbelievable. And stones and rocks are my thing. And there's waterfalls there, and it's desert like it is here. But it's so beautiful, and everything was just so beautiful. And the music, like you were playing music.
Yeah.
Like I can remember being in the markets in Iran, and there was always this music in the background. So that was a lot with the music that you were playing, which reminded me of all that stuff too. It all comes, they go together.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it came up for you for 3 of your sessions.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because you have this pull towards that culture and that
Beauty, the freedom,
beauty,
the textures,
Yeah. Everything's brass and the beautiful tapestries and the rugs, and it even goes along kind of with the hippie stuff. I mean, there's tassels and there's noises and stuff like that, and it all kind of goes together. And see if I could ask my mom for some of the stuff from Iran. We'll see how that goes.
Well, right, or even just some type of centerpiece in your home. You can see it every day and just give you that peace or the connection.
Yeah. What do you think is your biggest takeaway?
What I said to my friends, I said, I think everybody, I texted my friends. I'm like, I think everybody would benefit from this. And I also said, I didn't say everybody should do this. I said, but I think everybody probably would be able to benefit from this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, because it's not easy,
right?
I mean, it is emotionally, can be taxing. It can be physically demanding. You feel pretty wiped out afterwards, and
thirsty and nauseous.
Yeah, you're not doing it. You're not doing it because it's going to be some joyride.
No,
you're doing it because you want to improve.
Even though today I was like,
I'm gonna stay here.
It is peaceful and it can be eye-opening, but you're doing it because of what it's going to show you, and then you need to take those lessons and go forward.
Right. Yeah. Even the second day or something, I said it wasn't. I said to my daughter it wasn't fun. She's like, well, maybe the people you're with aren't fun. And I was like, this isn't about dabbling in like mushrooms and having you said an outer experience compared to an inner experience. Isn't about like, oh, let's all sit around mushrooms together and have fun and chit chat. That was all about. It was all about me and my inner experience. You guys were just there to not say anything and be there in case I needed you. Yeah,
because she said, you have an eye mask on, like you can't even open your eyes. So we talked about the difference between in psychedelics, what an inner experience is and what an outer experience is, and why they're different and why they're both beneficial. But yeah, with ketamine, I really, unless you're taking low doses, with less than what we're working with, more like the troches and things like that, it is a really super inward experience. Could you imagine having your eyes open and like seeing all of those things? You'd be like,
What in the
Right?
world? Yeah.
yeah. So it's just a matter of truly going in to figure yourself out.
And it has a big dissociative effect
Yeah.
where, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you felt like you were completely immersed into the visuals, left your body behind, forgot that you had a body, forgot you were in the room.
Yeah, it's not you coming out of it. You're like, oh, I have fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like feeling like my body's coming back.
Oh, when you start to come out of it, you don't know your body's there until you start to come out of it.
Yeah.
And that can be a scary space for people because, and probably you had these thoughts when you're going in. You're going to be in there alone with your psyche. And for everybody, there are things that you have ignored, blocked out, black boxed away.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary to be like, is that going to come raging?
Right. Was I going to say something? I asked if I was going to say something that was going to offend you guys. Like, we've heard it all. Because I use the F word a lot, right? The last couple of days, I've said the F word a lot.
Well, it was so funny.
It's part of your growth.
Well, it was funny because we, went for a walk after your one last night, and we were just giggling because you're like, I was afraid this is going to be a truth serum, and then you like sit up and you're like, I dated this drug dealer in high school, and he had the smallest penis, and we were like, oh my god!
Well,
Like,
cut this part out.
But like,
no,
you're like, I'm gonna just say whatever, and you kept saying that to yourself too. You're like, just keep talking, like, because you wanted to like hold back a little bit, and you're like, no, this is the space for that. This is where I get to just share and let it all figure itself out through my words.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I will tell you, you did not say anything
No.
off the wall. Or
Because you really remember what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah.
You feel like you're drunk when you're coming out of it, but you're saying things, but you really do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, speaking to that, you felt like you kept your sense of who you were the whole time, right? So even when you're in there, it's not like your mind is out of control or lost. Like, you are still thinking about things. You just get a little different perspective on it, or a different.
Yeah, I think any time too, if something had gone the way it was scary, I think you don't want to bring yourself out of it, because that's why I don't want to say something, because you're like, this is amazing, I don't want to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if something had upset me or bothered me, I know that I believe that if I could have just spoken up, and I would have snapped out of it. So it would have changed. Oh, and somebody asked me before I came, they did, daughter-in-law, she wouldn't care if you say her, she's on here either. Daughter-in-law's done these things, and she said it's more like, I guess she's like talked about doing acid, and she's like, acid's a really long trip. And like, this is 40 minutes or something. Where with acid, you're like, once you get in there, sometimes I guess people are like, oh my god, what the hell am I doing? When's this gonna end?
Yeah.
And this has a very time frame on it.
Because LSD acid is like 6 to 8 hours or longer.
Sometimes longer, depending.
And psilocybin, which is mushrooms, is 4 to 6 hours.
No.
So that can be really exhausting, which ketamine can too. But like you said, it's 45 minutes, give or take.
Yeah.
And you'll be out. And so it is a little bit easier to face
A certain amount of control. People feel like they don't have control. Mm-hmm. If they've done their stuff, you still have. There is a certain amount of control. You might feel.
You still have an awareness of what's happening. It's the people who fight it in the very beginning, once they realize they're going and they're like, I don't want to go, then it gets tricky. But once you're in there and you're like, oh, I want to think about this, or do I still have fingers? Like, you have that thought, and you can check in, and then you can go back out, and you can check in, and you can go back out.
Yeah. And that's so much about like what you were describing in the beginning, the whole set and setting, the mindset going in, the setting in which you do it. So to have Chandel like prep you so well, get you into a state of relaxation, almost like a meditative state before we even give you the medicine, just leads to such an easy and smooth like transition into that spot. Yeah. Because you can imagine if you were just
okay, I'm gonna give you a shot,
living your life, and you got a shot, and then all of a sudden you were dropped into that without like knowing what to expect. It could be really disorienting and scary.
Yeah, and I think the way that he administers it is also helpful. So instead of just like the one single shot and you're just like gone, like he drops you in just enough for you to be like, oh, I'm starting to feel light. I'm starting to see colors. I'm starting to see this. I'm like, that feels really good. Okay, I'm used to this. And all of a sudden we're like, you're ready to go deeper. And then you know, instead of just because like the first time I did it, it was like one shot and we were like, pew! And it was super intense.
Yeah. And I expected. I don't know. It was just me. I saw it or whatever I saw. I expected it to be an IV needle in your arm drip. Maybe some other people do it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
Do they? Okay. So I had this vision because I was like, what if I need to move around? And I'm not a big fan of having a needle in my arm and I get blood.
Nope.
So it's in my arm. And like say by the end of today, I was like curled up in a ball crying. Yeah. And so if I'd had that thing in my arm, how's that going to work?
Yeah. So that is nice because you can roll around and move around. And then you, as you know, the pulse ox and the heart rate monitor just on one finger and around your wrist. But that you can be freely mobile with that too. So you can get under the covers and curl into a ball and roll around or whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, and like part of that is why we have the prep calls, right? Because you were like, what do you mean needle in my arm? Like,
what do you mean in
and
my
I'm
shoulder?
Like,
You're gonna stick me in my. That's why I had
like,
visions.
Where in my shoulder? So I like sent you a text. I'm like, right here, like, so that you, before you even came, you weren't freaking out, going, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to have this needle in my arm, and he's gonna stick me 2 times, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we talk you through all of these things before you even get here, so that all of those worries and fears are like waylaid, and you can come, and you're gonna still have little bits, but you don't have to have all of it because we've talked about all of the things. And granted, you were different, right? In the fact that you were coming out here. So we had weeks before we actually saw you. So you and I had 3 different phone calls, texting back and forth, making sure everything was really clear and really set, where a lot of times when people just come locally, they want to get in as fast as possible. So they have a quick 20-30 minute call with me to help prep them and answer any questions and stuff like that around this stuff, also medical stuff with him, but the prepping stuff and the worries, we had a lot of time to get through those things. I get clarity on why you wanted to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, I have another question for you. A lot of people, one of the fears is surrounding losing control. And a lot of people in general, but also a lot of people that seek out ketamine feel like being in control in their life is important. What could you speak on whether you felt like how did that go for you? Did you lose control? Was it difficult to allow yourself to drop in there? Was that a worry for you?
I think before we talked, somebody said, because I'd done marijuana like 5 times in my life. Again, you can say that now. You didn't say that. And I felt like marijuana was always a bad thing. I talk about a bad trip, and was I trying, and possibly it was a bad trip because I was trying to control it. So I wasn't trying to control it. So I had thoughts, right? Do I want to think about this, or how do I want it to be, or
Because you had bad experiences
smoking pot.
Before.
Yeah.
because you were trying to control.
I guess that's what.
high.
Yeah. Now that I'm learning, that's what I was trying to control. And you're like, I can do this, and you can't. And just go with the flow is not really been who I am. Just why we're here right now. So no, I mean, I felt like I was you're in control. Like I said, if you wanted to come out of it, you could come out of it. I didn't say things. You weren't like babbling like an idiot out of your mind. It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
And actually, it sounds like mushrooms might be even weirder. So, no.
That's a whole different conversation.
And the judgment. I mean, back to judgment. I mean, I said, you guys, that's the thing. Talking to you guys, I'm comfortable enough to say whatever was coming to my mind. If you're stuck in a space with this doctor in an office and you're like, I shouldn't say that, then you can't. You're holding your mind back.
Mm-hmm.
You're controlling what's actually happening in the experience. I don't know what happened then.
Yeah. And that's what happens to so many of us, is if we don't have that safe space to express what it is that we're thinking, feeling, blah, 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 right? And so when you're in this space, and like huge kudos to him, because there's something about his energy that really, truly just makes people feel safe.
Right.
Safe and comfortable,
mm-hmm.
right? And that where he can just sit back and people like don't even worry that he's there, right?
Right.
And it's like, I can just say whatever I want, and then you know me, so it's like, I'm not coming from judgment. I'm only there to listen and to take notes, mm-hmm. and to just be a witness to whatever it is that you're thinking, feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have a say about it because it's not mine. And so it is different, where if you go to the doctor's office and even a random nurse is sitting with you, you're like, well, I don't know her, so can I say that? And we don't have those spaces where we feel comfortable just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just goes back into the same pattern of, I can't say this out loud. I can't talk about this. And this isn't going to be supported. So I have to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. And like we said with you, when I came out of it, you start coming out of it, and you're like, all these things I was all excited yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God.
Pop right out.
Right? You're excited, and you're saying, Shondel's taking notes and of things so that you remember, in case you were going to forget. Because you really do remember. I feel like, like in the beginning, I'm like, oh, we're just starting this. What I don't remember. Mm-hmm. But you really, I remember everything from the beginning to the end that happened. So you do remember. Yeah. And you write notes. So I have my journal to take it with me to remember.
And some of those notes are like as you're working on one thing, right? Like if you're working on this judgment piece, then you go and you work through the judgment piece, and then you go back and look at the notes and be like, oh yeah, there's this part about Iran. So then you go and you're like, I'm going to do this work, right? And so like you can go back and, because there are so many layers that came through for you, and you can't work at them at the same time, all of them at the same time, right? So you can go back in pieces and be like, oh yeah, and then you have the memories of it, but you're not working on it at the moment. And so it's good to have the notes. And I loved like doing you, because you would like say even just keywords, and so I could write it down, so that as you kind of were working through things, it was this just little bit of remembrance of like, okay, I get to, even if it really didn't mean anything, right? Like you said something one time, and I was like, origami. And which for me, it meant something for me, because right before that, I had written down unfolding. Oh, yeah. Right? Yes. So, like, for me, I was like, unfolding. Okay, I'm not sure what that word means. And then you're like, origami. And I was like, oh, it's like, okay, what is she folding? What is she unfolding? But so, like, you'd say origami. It doesn't mean anything to me. It might not mean anything to you in the moment. But if we write it down, you're going to have, with, like, these experiences, sometimes we don't have understanding until way later, and something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, yes. But if I hadn't written it down, you probably wouldn't have even remembered that you said origami. Right. And so I feel like it's helpful to just keep the notes. And
I understand. I think about, like, when I go home, I have my routines, and that's going to change too. I mean, it always seems like it served me, but maybe maybe it needs to be less of a routine. And how do I go home when I integrate this? Do I do this in a different space? Do I sit at a different space? I always sit in the same space in my house. Is that all going to change where I integrate and how I work on this? Is that going to be a different space in my house? Yeah. So I need to take more stuff home on the plane.
And you may not even know right now.
Yeah.
Because it's going, maybe you'll get home and it'll just feel right to do it a different way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And things will keep coming up that you don't even
foresee. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Just like if you go home and you're like, I actually don't want to do it in that space anymore. I feel better over here. Like, you'll notice little things like that. Because it's just, like we said from the beginning, it's not like flipping a light switch. It's not going to change your personality.
Yeah, a part of me was like, God, I had that thought. I woke up this morning, I had that thought. I thought it was just going to go away. And it didn't. It doesn't. It's not like magic. That kind of magic.
That you're a different person. Right. It's just a slight change in your perception, but just that little change can actually make such a big difference in your mental health.
Yeah.
And really, it's like in how you perceive life, and then how you start working can eventually impact the people around you. But it's not like we were talking yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to send you home, and your husband's going to call me and be like, what did you do to my wife? She's now a hippie listening to Grateful Dead, wearing all these hippie clothes, and she smells like patchouli.
CBD, right? That's right, patchouli.
And I was like, don't worry about it, man. You're going to like her better. Like, relax, bro. But it was just funny because it's like, it's not that switch, right? It's the slow little everyday movements that eventually you're gonna be like, I am free.
Yeah.
I have finally set myself free. Yeah.
So I'm taking time since I'm here. I'm gonna go to a hotel tonight rather than stay here. Be at the airport, do my own thing, unpack, unwind for myself. And then last time I came back from a trip, I slammed myself too quick into being a grandmother and doing those things. So tomorrow it's going to be more of a
Nice.
take time and make sure I don't just jump, because if you've done something different, you don't want to go back and jump into the same life.
Right.
In the
And
same
it's
way.
important because we talk about this and we've talked to you about it, is like you literally do have those few days, I say 48, 72 hours after you do ketamine, that you get the rare opportunity in your life to really program your brain and how you want it to do. So I love that you just said that, because jumping right back into your everyday routine would be just you re-solidifying your old habits
Right.
and your
Oh
old
yeah,
thoughts.
while your mind's open to be
Yeah.
molded, you're molding it with the same
Yeah.
stuff.
And so the fact that you're like, I'm going to see how things go. I'm going to feel what I feel like doing. I'm just going to take it nice and slow and see if this feels good to me, or see like if I want to change my routine or whatever it was. You're going with beautiful curiosity. And then also you're not forcing yourself to go back to your old habits.
Yeah.
And so that's a beautiful place to be. And I'm so happy that you're going to do it that way. Success.
Mm-hmm.
You are our success. Just kidding.
I'm a good little patient.
Yes. Yes, you have been a good patient. And
Yeah, what else? So this is what I always like to ask people. So now that you've done it and you know what you did to prepare for it and mindset you try to get yourself in, is there like one piece of advice that you either think did the best for you or that you wish you had done in preparation?
I think probably the best was probably giving a lot of control to you. Yeah. To like, because I was like, I don't really like my affirmations. I feel boilerplate, and to be just to kind of hand that over to you. What would I do differently, or what did I do differently?
Yeah, or what
Sorry.
ended up being the best piece of advice? Like, were you like, oh man, I wish I had like read more about the experience, or I wish I had known that it was going to be so nauseating, whatever.
If I know, if people listen, I want to know. My friend Marla's gonna be like, I'm gonna get nauseous. I'm not doing that. I wasn't gonna tell Marla about being nauseous.
right.
You didn't really feel
No,
a ton of nausea?
I haven't thrown. It's here. It's just a thing in my stomach. Like I'm not gonna throw up, but
Well, and
it's
part
in
of
my
that
stomach.
might also be energetics of things that are
That's true.
breaking loose.
Yeah.
And because in your session yesterday, I was like, oh, there's so much gunk
Oh,
in
that's
there.
right.
And typically I don't remove anything, but I'm like, it literally just looked like debris. And I was like, what is all of this debris in here? And so like, I was just like, we're going to clear that out. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, like what came to the surface to be like, oh, we have all these thoughts and beliefs and we're just like, what are we doing with it? Like toss, right? And so some of that still might be some of that you're releasing, especially because it's right here in the solar plexus, right?
So the whole body thing could be a whole adventure for the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. Well, and like how you're saying, like what could you have done differently or whatnot? Like you having an energy session in the middle of your 4 treatments, I was like, oh, that was actually really good.
Yeah. Like
really, really good. And I'm like, so maybe I need to want to encourage people to incorporate that into their 6 sessions that we do.
Right.
In between, let's have an energy session, check in and see where are you along where you thought you would be or anything like that.
Yeah.
And what needs support.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a nice takeaway.
Do you think, now I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head, do you think that it would be beneficial to do an energy session and then straight into ketamine treatment, or is that too much all at once?
It depends on the person. I mean, I would say like an energy session probably the day before, because energy sessions in themselves can be very tiring. Because you felt tired after our session.
I think I did go to sleep for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because we moved a lot of energy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that I know myself well enough to know I needed the space and the time.
Yeah.
Because again, if I was walking into an office, walking back out, I don't know how that even. But not everybody has the luxury being able to say, "Oh, I'm just going to fly to Utah for 5 days and do," because people live here. Yeah. But if they can give themselves enough space around what they're doing, maybe do it and go stay at a hotel or just get away or away from your everyday life and give yourself enough space for that. That was the biggest thing that I
That's great.
definitely
advice.
did. That you need to give yourself space, because it's, you don't want to be just, it's not something you do lightly. It's not, you did it for a reason. You're paying good money to be doing it, and you need to make the most out of the whole situation.
Mhm.
And the energy work. Huge bonus.
That was a good bonus. That was fun.
Did it? So you had prepared yourself in some way to kind of anticipate what it might be like. Did it fit your expectations, or did it end up being? I'm talking about the actual experience itself, with the visuals, with the sense of movement, with the dissociation. Was it anything like what
No.
you expected?
No, I had no idea. Thanks. I've ever done anything like that. No, because the mushrooms I've done were so little mushrooms that it was not. It was just kind of a nothing. I had
Sure.
no idea.
Yeah.
And I was always
Was a
resistant.
full kind of psychedelic experience.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting? It's so hard to describe.
There's no way.
It's so hard to have somebody try to describe it to you, and then
Yeah.
now when you try to describe it like to your husband, he's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because most of the people who are out there doing drugs, like daughter, husband in the past, they've probably been driving and walking around and living
gosh.
their lives, and they were doing those things, right? No.
No.
Well, and actually, that's a good point too, because this, there is a bit of a stereotype or a stigma against psychedelics, and it's true that there's two very different approaches, right? So we are not here for it to be a party,
Good time.
and we aren't like, time to go on a trip,
Right.
like, here we go,
Right.
It's much more directed and intentional, and it's not a big party, because we are forcing you to look at yourself, and that is difficult.
Mhm.
And it's exhausting, and it's taxing, and so when you talk about these medications, you're right. You can go on the internet and find people talking about ketamine as a party drug, which I cannot even imagine. Why would you
Ever want
and
to
how
do
could
that?
you want to be external and dancing and talking to people, right? Because it is such a, the way we do it, and it being so intentional, it is so internal and emotional. And it, like we said, you get to know yourself in that space, and like the true who you are kind of will rear its head and force you to address your own psyche, right? And so that is just so different than the party scene and the way people do psychedelics. Like that.
Was it Michael Jackson? Ketamine? Is that was?
Michael Jackson was propofol, which is a different answer.
Okay. People have those questions.
But people abuse it, for sure.
Yeah.
Because they like the way that it makes you feel. But the way that you do it in a medical setting is that it's a limited number of treatments. They're spaced out far enough that you're not getting addicted. I mean, ketamine is very non-addictive in a physical sense. And so you don't get withdrawal symptoms or anything if you quit it. It can be addictive in a psychological sense. Just like the way that it makes you feel. They're like, I want to do this more. So they can have this draw to make people want to do it just because they like it. But when you do it the right way with medical supervision, nobody's getting addicted to it.
So I said, I'm probably not going to fly back to do 2 more sessions, but we can do it. Figure out a way to do it in Ohio.
You could, you could. And again, now that you have done it 4 times, you would know how to set up your set and setting, even if it's in a clinic. Yeah. You would bring your music, and you'd bring your blanket, and you would bring somebody to sit with you, even if they're not trained, right? Just your husband. Maybe not. I don't know your husband. Sorry.
Not my husband, not my daughter.
Yeah. But now you know the things that would help you have the best outcome. Yeah. And, that's why we do it the way we do it, is because we can teach people what they need in this space and how they can feel supported. And then if they choose to do it elsewhere, I'm okay with them knowing that information.
Yeah.
Right?
I see, when to bring it full circle back to judgment, the fact that I even said things and I've put it out on my social media that I'm doing ketamine, that was a huge thing because I was like, what if, and what are people going to think, and what are people going to say? So before I even got here, right, I was working on judgment.
Yeah.
It was out there because people were like, what?
Yeah. And well, this is a perfect example.
Yeah.
You, at least the way it came to me, you don't need to be like, screw you, I don't care what you think. You're going to be at this point where you're like, you guys just don't get it. Right?
Right,
And
yeah.
also, I understand why you might feel the way that you feel, but also I truly just don't care. Because I've been, like,
You've
like
done what I've done. You
I've
have
reached
no idea.
a different level.
Yeah.
of
You'd understand
judgment.
me if you've been where I've been. Yeah. And it's been awesome having you here. You got to come do cacao with us.
Yes.
And breath work and sound bath.
Yeah.
So
All the things. All the things, Shondell, as I said.
Yeah. You got to.
Yeah, little 5 days of the life of Chandel.
My messy kitchen. Unfolded laundry that's still unfolded. So yeah.
And who cares, right?
Right.
Who cares?
Because
Well, that's
like
that was
living.
part of that. I'm like, there's no mistake that she came to stay with me,
Yeah.
right? Of like, this is how I live, and I'm happy, and it works for me, and I don't care. And I'm like, if you want to come in and judge my messy kitchen, go ahead. Like, this is how I have to live my life, right?
I was like, she's still okay.
Yeah. She's still happy. She still lives. She gets her stuff done.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah. It's just like the being immersed in the opposite of, but finding that middle ground of you're like, I want to be free from all of these, like this. And so like you got to be literally immersed in an experience of someone who's like, whatever. Yeah. My lawn needs mowed. I'll get to it.
Take home, be somebody between Shondell and Jennifer.
Yeah.
Right, and you know,
Between you.
Me,
Yes.
Shondell, yeah, me, Jennifer, and Shondell.
and you're not going to change your entire life
Right.
because of this experience, but you will find that there are just a few things that just change a little, and
It'll just bring you so much more joy.
There's gonna be so much more of I'm not doing that.
Freedom and joy and releasing the pressure of having to, because we talked about like what was it? Like you said, what was the word? Because you're like, I'm like, and I think it's interesting that you're saying it that way and not perfect.
Oh, you said it's judgment, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's judgment about my body or my things, but it's with the candle, right? But it's judgment, but I don't try to make it perfect.
But you're not like, I have to be perfect.
Right.
I have to be perfect. You're just like, you're judging yourself for doing these things or acting this way, which I thought was so interesting that you didn't ever come back to, I have to show up perfectly. And so it was like, it's not about being perfect. It's just about letting go of all the expectations and ideas of others and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Noticing.
Yeah. That's good. Anything else?
I don't know if I have anything else.
Okay. Do you have anything
No.
else you want to share? Okay.
Can't tell everybody to come stay at your house and do ketamine because that's not really an open door.
But you would be a proponent of it for like for other people,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, and you guys do group sessions, but
Yeah.
and I said I don't think I would do a group session. So one-on-one is good for me. So everybody's different. You offer both options.
Right. And, I will say, like, you don't think that you would want to do a group, but I bet if you did a group, you would be so surprised at how when everybody comes out.
Oh, we said out of it, yeah.
And everybody's sharing.
That's true.
And you're kind of like, yeah, like I feel that, or I see that in myself too. And it just becomes like healing in a group is so beneficial, which you've been part of lots of groups. You're a teacher, right? You are a proponent of groups and people coming together to have that co-understanding. And so you would be surprised if you ever come back out. I'm going to have you come out on a group weekend. But yeah, maybe at some point we'll have the shed open for people to come stay with us.
That's true.
Yeah.
The shed,
The
yeah.
shed. Come and stay in the shed. Yeah. Come and stay in the ketamine shed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah.
Thank you.
I think
I'm
I'm
happy.
again so honored that you came out here and trusted us to hold
Crying
space. Yeah, to hold
Yeah.
space for you, and like we've known each other online for a while, but like to truly spend time with you and get to know you. Like when you walked in, I was like, oh my gosh. Like it was funny. So side note, sorry. You're like, oh, he's cuter in person, right? When you walked in the door, I was like, oh my gosh, she is beautiful, right? Like, because you don't see somebody's true self always on social media, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, but then like you didn't expect me to be home, and I didn't expect you to be there, so everything was like, here you are, right? And so, but like you did, and I was like, oh, and then it's been so nice to like just really get to know you and spend time with you, and like how you sit at the kitchen table and have dinner with me and my kids, and you know, it's
wobbling around the house.
Yeah, so laying on the back porch and like on the grass, and I'm like, I love that you felt comfortable here to actually do those things too, right? Like you came in and out and just did what you want.
That was part of it. That's even the whole thing, right? Being comfortable to not worry about what everybody else is thinking. Right? I was like, I'm just gonna go lay in the grass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was so it all. And again, another piece of that, right, tied into it, just to be here and do my own thing.
Yeah. And so I feel super honored that you trusted us, that you felt safe and comfortable in my home.
I did.
And in the medicine, and sharing all the things that you shared with us. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you even for willing to be a part of these kind of interviews.
Yeah.
And I will say, one of my favorite stories is that I treated a guy who was in his 60s, and he said, I thought that I had experienced everything in life. I'd had all the highs, I'd had all the lows, I'd lost things, I'd gained things. That was a brand new experience for me. And I think that you will leave here a different person,
mm-hmm.
even if it's just a little bit of a shift. But yeah, you'll come in and you'll go out into the world as just a little better than what you came in.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cut.
Beautiful.
Scene.
It's time to eat. I need to eat.
Oh, have you still not eaten? Oh,
No,
you
we had breakfast, but that's